And now Man United are 1-0 up. Why? Because Everton suck. That's why Man United are 1-0 up.
Let's go. 1-0 United, you wankers.
What's the crack? Welcome back to the Irish Spice Podcast. A happy Irish Spice Podcast after a couple of wins for Manchester United. What's Carrick? How many games has he gone now unbeaten? Is it 7?
6.
Would be 6 or 7, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
6, is it?
5 wins and a draw.
Okay, perfect. So I suppose start off with 4 topics that we're going to cover. The first one tonight is obviously having a look at the game that happened on Monday night. Not a big fan of the Monday night kickoffs. I always think they lead to a bit of a drab game for United, but
which it was.
It's good to get the win. And then I want to have a crack about the pundits of Manchester United and their varying views and what influence they have on our football club. Thirdly, I want to look at it's time to start looking at the transfer window now. It's the end of February. And then fourth, we'll kick off with a look ahead, obviously, to Manchester United's fixtures and what our chances look like against Chelsea and Liverpool, who I think are destined to push us out of the top 6, but we'll get to that later. So starting first of all, the West Ham game, what did you think of that?
It was dire.
Yeah.
It was.
I think the West Ham
dire.
game, I think we can run analysis of the West Ham and Everton game simultaneously because they're very similar performances. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Very similar tactics from both
I
teams.
think West Ham and Everton set up the same way.
Yeah, but I can see what Carrick's trying to do. Carrick has obviously come into the job interview and he said, look, United need consistency. You're not consistently putting the same team out onto the pitch. You're not consistently doing things over and over again so the players can't learn. And it's a strange one. Like, are we seeing now that because he's doing things over and over again, the Premier League teams have figured it out very, very quickly? Yeah, I mean, Everton and West Ham did the same thing, in my opinion. They congested the centre of midfield to stop United playing, and they pressed high up the pitch and didn't allow United the time on the ball they maybe got in previous games. And it worked a treat because it was very ugly to watch at times.
Yeah, and they dug in deep as well, Rory.
Yeah.
The 10 men behind the ball, which is hard to break down. But I think the way you said about other teams sussing United out, we have got a very strong forward line now. We have a dangerous forward line, and we've got at present a super sub that's on fire.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be labelled the super sub though.
I know that, Kieran, but I mean, I think it's maybe now time to start letting him start matches. But he's been effective coming off the bench. That's the only thing.
I know.
He's been very effective.
Also, it's the dilemma, isn't it? Yeah.
You stick or twist. And it's not for the benefit of one individual. It's for the benefit of the team at the end of the day. What's good for the team?
Yeah. Like I thought, my opinion, the Everton game, especially after watching the West Ham game, that, Carrick might have looked at it and said, okay, we're going away to Everton next. Similar kind of low block, kind of defensive style. Until Sesko came on in the West Ham game,
Yes.
they're a bit more outlet and a bit more pinning the centre backs and making them thinking. Like, it suited more to have that big striker up there against that opposition, and then go to the Everton game. I don't know if you guys were the same, expecting Sesko nailed on, has to start. You've made a learn from that West Ham game, similar kind of tactics, low block team. Set perfect game for Sesko after getting on a hot streak of form, goals. Why not start him? But I get them a Bury or something. It was a big, what's the right word? I'll say is not consistent, non-consistent teams. It's playing the different 11s, different mixing and changing everything. But the Carrick come in and said, right, players in the right positions, consistent backline, consistent midfield, consistent forward line. I understand that, but that's my outlook on it. And I thought maybe it would have been time to unleash Sesko from the start against Everton, but he still got the winner. and a brilliant goal, I think, combining the 3 summer signings who have been fantastic. You know, done what they've been brought in to do for the money they paid for them, but the season's not over yet. I feel
I think getting back to that Everton game, that Sesko came on at the right time, because when you look at Sesko's goal, he ran that pitch like a freight train. And I don't know, I forget who the defender was, but there's no way that he was catching him. Definitely not.
In the Everton game.
You know, so
Yeah.
but somebody of that quality, fresh set, pair of legs, coming on at that time, and then at the end of a game, well, the space does open up for you. So I don't, as I say, do you stick or twist with that? Do you play him from the start, or do you keep him for another couple of games and give him more minutes, bring him on the 45th minute?
I think
Stuff like that.
when someone's scoring goals like Benjamin Sesko is, it's very easy to forget how poor Benjamin Sesko was when he was starting, guys.
No, very, yeah.
He looked like a
Duck out of
fish in
water.
water. He didn't look like he could understand the pace of the game. He was getting lost. He was scoffing at chances. I think he was on the pitch too long, so teams were able to. I think you nailed it, Mum. The beauty of Benjamin Sesko is he's so different to what starts the Manchester United game that he's catching some teams out. He comes on and he's getting into these spaces and he's playing like an out-and-out striker, and they're so hopped up to counteract the kind of pace and stuff they were expecting coming at them in tricky movements, and then all of a sudden you've got this big presence in the box that just wants the ball and he's getting goals from it. I'm intrigued to see what he would be like now starting, because he is in good form and he's confident, and I think it's not just his goals, I think his hold-up play has improved, and I think his layoffs and his understanding his teammates is starting to get better. But it's catch-22, because if you start Benjamin Sesko in the next game and he doesn't have a good one, you're going to ruin the confidence that he had built up of coming on as the substitute striker and scoring these goals and pulling us out. And then we're going to have to rely on other outlets. And it's mad to think, with Mbeumo and Cunha in the team, United still look like they're struggling to create out-and-out chances. Now, I think Everton defended with their lives the other night, because I think both those teams had time off, and Manchester United are an informed team. And when you have an informed team and you're coming to play them in your home stadium, you don't want to concede goals. And Everton were bodies on the line brilliantly. Mm-hmm. But it highlights again that United aren't a great football team. They're a good football team that's informed.
Yeah. I think it highlights
good elements to it.
Yeah, I think it highlights as well, right? Like, even when Amram was manager, like one of the biggest problems we've spoke about is the midfield, and how that midfield works in unison with the forward line and with the back line. That if teams press us and push up the field and are physical, it's too easy to overrun our midfield. And I think And I think in the summer, it's obviously, it's still, you see all the news stories. I'm sure you've seen plenty in the forums, Jacqueline, of the rumours of it's mostly midfielders, because it's still, even with the improvements, it's still the biggest area where we need to improve. But the only thing is that Amram didn't do is play the right formation, play the players in the right positions, and get them playing for each other and bringing players that weren't playing well on. Like Kobe Mainoo's been brilliant. He's not the finished article by any means, but and Casemiro as well. The back line's solid, and they're getting goals from the striker for a change. So there's a lot to be positive about, but there's still, like you spoke about in the group chat on after the game, Rory. There's still a handful of players that need to be moved on and progress to be made in the transfer window. And if Jamie Carragher's correct, we're a cert on for the Champions League qualification. If we get the Champions League, that's a big win for the transfer market in the summer and getting the players that we need to improve our team and progress.
Yeah, there's nobody in the Manchester United team that can carry the ball in midfield. How deep did Bruno Fernandes and Cunha come the other night to try and pick the ball up? Because I think they just got sick of Casemiro and Mainoo not being able to take the ball out. And it's Kobe Mainoo too. Kobe Mainoo is not a ball-carrying midfielder. He's a very technically skillful player, but I still maintain that I wouldn't have Kobe Mainoo in a team that's going to try and push to win the league. I don't think he's good enough. He has been better coming into that team than some of the players that we have seen play centre midfield. But he is not as good as other midfielders in the league. In fact, he's nowhere near the standard of his fellow English compatriots who play in the same positions. I don't think he's as good as Elliot Anderson, and I don't think he's as good as Adam Morton. And I think if either one of those was moved into a bigger team, they would look much better than Kobe Manu. So when you take that as our kind of outlet or attacking outlet in midfield and couple it with Casemiro, that's our biggest weakness. Not one of those players is going to pick the ball up, break the lines and carry the ball out like a Declan Rice does or Rodri does. Sabalazai can do it at Liverpool, so can Ryan Gravenberch. You know, these are ball-carrying, energetic midfielders who kind of do everything. And Kobe Manu has 3 of the 5 tools, I would say, to be a Premier League midfielder, but he's missing that physical presence of being able to track people and hunt them down, and he's missing the ability to turn and run at people and take them on confidently, get beyond people and set the team on the front foot. And it's not Bruno Fernandes' game either, and that's our 10. Odegaard does it for Arsenal. Odegaard's brilliant at coming deep into midfield, turning, beating a man, putting the whole team on the front foot, and off they go. Whereas Bruno comes down, our midfield has to pass to another player to get beyond somebody. It's like, I'll give the ball to Kieran and then I'll make my run and you give the ball back to me, because I know if I go to try and take this person on, I'm not going to do it. So it's frustrating to watch at times. Yeah. But you touched on it there, so it's going to be interesting to move into this now. The Champions League places, right? I'm going to firmly and resolutely say that Manchester United won't get there. But there seems to be a lot of buzz now that United can cement that place, that they will be able to outlast Chelsea, Liverpool, and potentially, I even heard Gabby Ogbonlo were talking about how they could potentially catch Villa now. So, Mum, where do you sit on that first? Manchester United's Champions League.
Yeah, I think we'll come third. I think we will catch Villa. Villa's going through a tough spot at the minute. And the thing about Villa is they're playing extra matches with the Champions League. So anybody that plays in a competition like the Champions League or the Europa League, they always have their eye on the next match. We just have to worry about the Premier League. You know, we're getting plenty of rest in between. We're not playing midweek matches, you know, and especially travelling to, you know, other destinations. So, yeah, I think we'll catch Villa. I can see us catching Villa.
Yeah, Villa's one of fixtures.
Villa are out of the Champions League, no?
Are they out of the Champions League? I thought we're still in it.
No, they play Thursday night, so they're not.
Are they in the Conference League?
I think so. I think it's Thursday night.
Sorry, well, yeah, with the one of those leagues.
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? That they've got those extra matches. They're always looking to the next match.
Yeah. And I think Jacqueline as well on Villa, you know, I think Ogbonhauer was touching on as well that their next run of fixtures, you know, United still play United, Chelsea, Liverpool, City. And you know,
right, that's a heavy load, that is.
Half of their last 10 games are against the so-called Big Six, the big games there. So, you know, are they going to win them all, or are they going to lose majority of them the way they're playing with the extra game?
But it's not even that, Kieran. It's that the like of City playing Liverpool or Aston Villa playing, you know, Chelsea and stuff like that. They're all going to take points of one another. We're going to be in the same boat as well, but it's not where you would have said around Christmas time, oh, Villa, such and such is nailed on. Liverpool were extremely lucky against Forest. Extremely lucky. But they did pick up the 3 points, and that's what it's all about. But it is going to go to the wire, I think, but I think I'm very confident at the minute that we'll get third place.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't think, I haven't played against West Ham and Everton and watched that. Manchester United will beat the likes of your Newcastles and Villas that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think both Newcastle and Villa will beat us. I think the Carrick's reign of wins and not getting beaten will end in the Newcastle game. We really struggle to play against them because of the way they play. They're high energy and they're 4-3-3 and they don't let you have time on the ball. And they have better players than Everton and West Ham. And I agree with David Moyes. I thought United were very lucky to get away with 3 points the other night. I think the fair result would have been a draw.
Yeah, I agree. It was a dire match. It really was. It was a hard watch.
It was poor, and Everton weren't a great team. And West Ham were kicking the ass off a relegation fight. So when push came to shove and we came up against that first resistance and as I said previously, it does look like teams have looked at Carrick's way of wanting to play and thought, right, he's trying to do this expansive Manchester United, but they're not good enough to do that. So put them under pressure and they'll make their own mistakes. And it felt that way in the past 2 games. So I think my confidence is waning on the Champions League spot. I personally think Villa will stay there and Chelsea and Liverpool might move ahead of us. If we slip once, I think the confidence will go.
No, I disagree.
Who do you think we take the place off them?
That's what I said. We take the place of Villa. I can see us finishing third. Like,
So you think
we're the only consistent team, right? In those places. Chelsea are dropping points. Arsenal dropped points against Wolves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Boy, yeah, I agree.
So it's not the teams that you're playing, because every team's, even the wee teams, even like a Wolves that have no chance, but they might think of an outside chance, are fighting for every point they can get now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the run-in. I always thought that coming into March is the run-in, right? And we're the only consistent team in that sort of like group. Now, I'm not talking about City, I'm not talking about Arsenal, but in that group that's fighting for Champions League places.
Yeah, I just don't think we're doing it convincingly enough to be.
Well, we're not. Look, teams don't have to do it convincingly at times, Rory. They have to get it over the line, though, and we did the other night.
I was really happy with the other night. I think it could have went the other way. I was
happy with the points, but not with the team performance.
Yeah, I don't think that team performance, and it was the same as West Ham and Everton, is conducive to a Champions League spot. I think once the cards come tumbling down, United might slip and struggle for a wee bit, and then we're going to see what Michael Carrick is made of. And I honestly think United will beat Crystal Palace. I have no fear of Sunday. I don't see United beating Newcastle and Villa. I think they'll lose those 2 games, and that's when it starts to get stretched and frayed. Because if memory serves, they'll automatically qualified for the Europa League, so they won't play on a Thursday night for a couple of weeks. So I think they could be going in after a week's rest against us. And unformed beats an unformed Manchester United from 8 minutes.
But Villa aren't on form at the minute, Rory.
I mean, they're third in the Premier League and they're still in the Europa League after automatic qualification.
But there's not that big gap now between third and the rest.
Yeah, but they still have the gap.
Of what, 3 points? 2 points?
3.
They're still there.
3 points. Yeah, it's a game.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're still there, and so are we.
Still there, fair play to them.
Yes, I get that. I'm not saying that we're not, but it's a mad amount of confidence that you have taken, Mum, from United's first decent run this season.
I think that I'm confident. It's not because of the what do you call it? I still think that the midfield needs to be fixed, but I think it's more solid than it was under Amorim. And I think the back line, that back four now, reverting to the back four, and let's face it, that young fella, Zen Lemons, has been wonderful so far. And I'm not judging him against Onana. I'm judging him against his competition in the Premier League. He's been really good. On that point, the Premier League have to sort out that nonsense on corners and free kicks. That Croydon, the goalkeeper, and it's like a wrestling match in there.
That was the referee.
It's ridiculous.
I think the referee should have shouldered the blame if he had just went in the first time, sorted it all out, and said, "Look, you can't be crowding. I will give yellow cards if you keep crowding the goalkeeper like that." Then
I agree.
They would have stumped it out. But the fact that he just let it go, it gave Everton free rein to keep it up. And I always thought that impeding the goalkeeper from a corner was a free kick and a yellow card offence. So I don't know where that referee was going from. Like, to me, I was looking at that going, this is a disgrace. Like, you know this is against the rules and you're allowing them to do it over and over and over again. Like,
Arsenal brought that in. That's the tactic from Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I looked at some of the Premier League teams have adapted it now. Oh, this is the way, to make space, get goals. And who was it? Was it Jamie Carragher or was it Gary Neville? Made a brilliant point. He said, Everton have the big tall men that would need an outswinger for them to run onto the ball. And yet they're all crowded around the goalkeeper.
Underneath the ball.
So, pardon?
But they're all underneath the ball. They're not running onto it.
No, they're not. That's what I mean. Someone the like of Keane, the like of what do you call your man?
Tarkowski.
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Do you know what I'm saying? That could make a better, goal scoring opportunity than trying to foul the goalkeeper all the time and getting off with it.
Yeah, it would have caused us so many more problems if they had just done the outswing and had their big tall men running in. It would have caused us so much more problem. But as Cindy Lammon's come out and said in his interview after the game, like that's one of his strengths. He loves that, and he said, I know he dealt with it. He dealt with it. He joked a few times he had to start his run from in the net to get the ball away, but that's that's what he loves. That's his keeping style. So it suited him to do that.
Yeah, do you know what I think? Somebody's going to get their jaw broke because a goalkeeper like Lemons will come out and clear everything.
Yeah.
There's that many people around him, that many bodies around him. Somebody will get their jaw broke.
Yeah. But very touched. You touched on it there, Rory. Like if I know we're a long way from the start of the season, but if you remember in the first 5-6 weeks of the season, referees were blowing that up, and we're giving free kicks out for teams behaving like that in the box. But because I don't know why, maybe because Arsenal were getting so much success with it or whatever it is, it seems to gradually become the norm, or more teams are doing it and they're just not blowing it up anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I thought it was against the rules to impede the goalkeeper if the goalkeeper's coming out to collect the ball. If there's initial contact before he gets a chance, and the way they're skirting the rules seems to be now whipping the ball on top of the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
As if to say, right, well, we didn't impede the goalkeeper coming out because the ball was directed at the goalkeeper. It's a maddening grey area in the rules that Arsenal, as you rightly said, Mum, have tried to exploit, and now we're seeing more common and more often. And Brentford try and do it from throw-ins now. So they need to come out and just take a hard stance and turn around and say, look, the goalkeeper is a protected entity in the box when it comes to corners. You can't, one person, as it traditionally was done in around the goalkeeper, yes, but you can't have multiple people in the 6-yard box from a corner. It's just fucking, it's nonsense. It'll just come to the point where people are shooting from corners because they're blocking off the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Did you see? Sorry, I was just going to say. I don't know whose Instagram story it was. Was it Cubby Manu or Sesko's? But it was like they're taking the mick out of the corners, Everton's corners tactics. And it was like a screenshot of one of the corners that Lamont had to defend, and then click the next, and it was like a Royal Rumble WWE wrestling scrum. Like,
I've seen that. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Oh, very good.
It was the
That's
truth.
what I mean. It's like a wrestling match.
It's true. Like you can't.
It honestly been farcical. End of the game, it was just like you knew it was coming, and I thought this is like the referee needs to step in here and just assert a bit of dominance and turn around and say, look, this is chaos, lads. Can't be at that. Can't be throwing each other to the ground inside the 6-yard box and intensely trying to foul the goalkeeper. Because there was a couple of them where it looked like Lamons was genuinely behind the net before he even got a chance to come in.
Yeah. He's behind the goal line on a few occasions.
But I thought we soaked up the pressure like well, and like I know we spoke about it briefly after the game. They're the kinds of games that we would have thrown away, lost, brought on defenders,
Capitulated,
panicked.
Yeah.
But like I said, you can win a game of football like we beat City or beat Arsenal or beat Spurs. You can win well and attacking and exciting. But some games against on paper lower opposition or teams that are comfortable sitting back behind the ball, you have to win ugly. You're not going to win every game 3-4-0. You find a way to win no matter what. I think I'm still, I'm kind of still scarred from the first 2025 part of the season, and how many points we lost and how easy we looked to play against. But I think Carrick's really instilled a bit of steeliness to Manchester United and pride in playing for that. So like I watched Matheus Cunha yesterday. Yeah, like Matheus Cunha when he don't know how many defensive interceptions yesterday, and he was screaming at you by it at the end. Everyone's together and everyone's a team.
James Garner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives me a bit more confidence. Yeah, it gives me a bit more confidence going forward. But I do think that the Newcastle and Villa games are the ones to watch out for and how we play against them. But saying they're not, they're more, they will go for it. and not sit behind the ball.
Yeah,
which,
I just think it's. I suppose where I come from, it is very plain look at it to turn around and say, right, the Premier League table now sits precariously poised where Liverpool and Chelsea have caught us, and they are 3 points, both of them behind us. And if you're asking me who is going to be more consistent now in the 10 games in the end of the season, who gets more points from those 10 games, it'll be Liverpool and Chelsea. And then you are dependent on Villa to have a bit of a meltdown. I don't think United will outpoint Liverpool or Chelsea in the next 10 games.
Did we not catch them, Rory?
Huh?
Did we not catch them?
yeah,
Oh, yes.
If you
look,
say
I know
Liverpool
you're-
and Chelsea, like we were so far behind those two teams, and we caught
But
up,
as you
on the
said,
points.
they have their own distractions. But when it comes to the next 10 games, I don't care about form. Chelsea and Liverpool are a league above us at the minute, in terms of the personnel and the way that they can play when they turn it on. And I just don't think, if you're asking me now, does Manchester United give more in the next 30 points than Liverpool or Chelsea? No, they do not. And is 3 points enough of a gap to stave off a rush from both those teams to be in the Champions League? No, it is not.
Well, it's not comfortable.
So Chelsea and Liverpool for me will move into those places, and that's where I was looking at it. So it's the fact that Villa are ahead and Villa have the cushion of the 3 points above us. But yeah, if Villa start dropping points and go out, okay. But I think Chelsea and Liverpool will have enough to push and take United out of the Champions League spots.
Well,
Now that
tell
it's
me
been serious
something.
for the next 10 games.
Is it 4 or 5 Champions League places for the Premier League?
It'll be 5.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can expect 5 now going forwards for the next couple of years. The Premier League teams have proven that in the Europa League and the Conference League they're dominant. And then you're depending on the Champions League. And considering we've 5 options in the Champions League every year, there's one or two of those teams, like City and Arsenal, are expected to go deep into the competition. They've already automatically qualified. So yeah, should be easy for them.
And there's a big game with
So 5
against
places.
Liverpool Old Trafford on the 2nd of May. That'll be a big game.
Yeah.
If
When
it's
is it here?
the 2nd of May, I think it is. United Liverpool at Old Trafford. I think it's,
Oh, man.
and we still have to play Villa as well.
Let's hope we're 10 points ahead of them by that stage. Let's hope we're 10 points ahead of them by that stage.
I think United and Liverpool feel like the two ones that will face off. I think Chelsea have an easier European competition to go into and a very, very vast squad. Liverpool looked on paper like they had the same depth, but a lot of their players aren't working out for them. So they look like a team that has to play consistently their best players every week to try and survive. A couple of injuries in there now as well. So I think United and Liverpool will be the ones that'll battle it out for 5th. To be honest, I don't think Villa will slip as much as you think they're going to, and I think Chelsea will have enough consistency to push up that table now. I know they've been slipping a few times there recently, but I just think that Chelsea will get it right. They always do. They always have that surge.
I know. It's hard. It's hard. I see what you're saying, but I know it's hard. Hard is it? We're still bearing the bad vibes and the scars from the last 14 months of the results and performances.
You're right. We're scared.
We're
That's what
scared.
I think they were shit against West Ham and Everton. I think the myth of Michael Carrick went out the window, and David Moyes and Nuno Espirito Santo are 2 very seasoned 10-year Premier League coaches, and they looked at what Manchester United tried to do in the first 4 or 5 games of Carrick's reign, and they figured it out. And I think that bigger teams with better personnel will punish Manchester United for wanting to play that way. I think their new manager bounced and they played very different football in a very different style to what they had played previously. And I think it was attractive and it was exciting and it caught a few teams out. And then there was a break for a couple of weeks and Moyes and Espirito Santo got it perfect. Flood the midfield. Don't allow them the time on the ball to play this free-flowing, expansive football. They want to do is switching it to the wings. Just close them down and they'll fuck it up. And it was a brilliant counter-attacking goal. The ball from Cunha was world-class. The layoff was brilliant. It was a fantastic goal. But Manchester United have talent and class to burn. But you need to do it over 90 minutes. And I think that it's for me, it's not scourge. I just don't like what I've seen the past 2 games. And if that's what Carrick has to offer with that team, it won't finish top 5. But anyway, we shall move on. And I want to talk about the transfers and rumours that are currently doing the rounds when it comes to Manchester United. So I think the only one that I have seen that kind of keeps recurring and keeps coming around is Elliot Anderson, who apparently is unsettled now at Nottingham Forest with the performance of Nottingham Forest this season. Another change in managers, even though it seems to be a positive change in managers. They were very, very good against Fenerbahce in the Europa League, and they were very, very unlucky at the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Just saying, I'll agree with you. Forest are coming in back into a bit of form. and what they have.
Yeah, but apparently Anderson wants to.
Apparently more Gibbs White, I've heard as well.
Who was it? Gibbs White?
Yeah.
To play where?
Gibbs White to us?
Yeah.
No, he's going to. Oh, he's the club that he's talking about. Everton, is it not? I'm going to Everton.
Really?
They'll all move.
Yeah, a lot of the
big players will move.
A lot of Forest.
Gibbs White got that big contract there, though. Do you remember Spurs were hovering around him, and then he was paid to Spurs?
Yeah, that's right. It was only
Elliot Anderson also was on big wages.
Yeah, they're looking
But
big.
I would have Elliot Anderson over Kobe Manu all day, every day.
Pardon?
I would have Elliot Anderson over Kobe Manu all day, every day.
Yeah, he's just
He's
a
a
better
fabulous player. Fabulous.
And I don't think you need to be a fabulous player to be better than Kobe Manu. Kobe Manu is a classic example of Manchester United fans overhyping.
Hyping, the academy up.
He's a good player. That's it.
Yeah. No, I think Elliot Anderson is. What age is Elliot Anderson? He's very young, isn't he?
23.
22,
Yeah,
23.
but he's got so much poise about it, and sort of like he's very, very mature. He's a very mature player for his age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
what I like about him.
The one thing Elliot Anderson doesn't have that I kind of alluded to earlier is I don't think Elliot Anderson is your burst from deep kind of midfielder. He's not your running out kind of box to box esque midfielder. So you would need to partner him with somebody. But as the quarterback, as the playmaker in midfield, he would make Kobe Manu look foolish. He's just he's so much more about him than Kobe Manu does. I'm not Kobe Manu's biggest fan. He's just decent.
Decent, but I suppose you need a
No,
squad.
he's a good player, but not what they're hyping him up to be.
I wouldn't be moving Kobe up. He could turn into something brilliant. He could get back into that goal scoring form, and he's just not threatening enough for me. And I know he did have a regression because of the Ruben Amorim scenario that he was handed, right? So maybe that has fed into this, but he just doesn't look a threat to me, Kobe Manu. He has wee moments of close control that are absolutely brilliant, and they're a joy to watch. And he does things on the ball that a lot of footballers wouldn't be able to do. But it's just not. He just doesn't do enough for me to turn around and think, right, well, like if you look at the top six, the teams around us, where does Kobe Manu start? He doesn't. He would really struggle to get into any of the teams around us now. You know, you're not putting them into the Arsenal, City or Liverpool teams, not with the midfielders that they have. And then you have to look at Villa. Possibly, maybe, but is he a better player than Onana is there? I don't think so. It's a tough one because he's our best hope in midfield, but I think our best hope in midfield is bang average case.
Yeah. I think that's why it's so important.
I would want to understand Gordon.
Yeah. Or what about Sandro Tonali is another name that's been thrown out there pretty heavily the last few weeks.
I love him. He's everything that we don't have. You know what I mean? Yeah. He can run with the ball. He's confident. He's a great goal scorer. The only thing that I question with Sandro Tonali is Sandro Tonali was rumoured to not be happy in England from the day and hour he got off the plane.
Apparently so. And apparently if he's going to move, he's moving abroad.
Exactly. And, you know, there isn't a whole catalogue of Italians that you can point to that have actually come into England in the Premier League and you can say have really hit it off and really made it big. You know, there seems to be a real cultural divide they don't enjoy. It's the same as... and it's a strange one, right? You ever notice that the Germans and the Italians the big ones tend to stay in their own leagues? It's like they don't like going abroad. They don't want to play outside of their own culture.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I think it's a lifestyle thing. Mum. I think it's like food and silly wee things, silly human things that I think they come over and they're like, I just don't enjoy it here. So I would worry that Sandro Tonali would move to us for money and doesn't actually want to stay in England. And it's because he will try and rinse as much Premier League coins as he can before he disappears back to one of the Milans.
Well, Onana's been linked. Guy plays for Villa.
I like Onana. He's not
Don't you know
spectacular,
that?
but he's an honest holding midfielder.
He's been linked to
Brings
me
Cat back.
recently.
McTominay
Oh my God.
plays as a 10. It's not a centre
Scott
midfielder. I hate having this argument with people. People are like,
But
oh, you
in
got it
his
wrong.
last...
Scott McTominay's brilliant. Napoli, Scott McTominay, Ballon d'Or. Playing as a 10. Were you going to start him over Bruno? No.
Exactly.
Fuck up. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, he plays as a 10. So if he's not going to play as a 10 for Man United, you can't bring him back to Manchester United because he can't play centre midfield.
I know.
And in his last interview, he said that he's a Napoli player and he enjoys living in Italy.
He's also a 10.
Any wonder.
I know.
It's a bit of cracker.
He should have been 10 for us a long time ago.
Or would you play Scott McTominay over Bruno Fernandes?
No, you wouldn't.
Well, apparently Bruno Fernandes is moving.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Well,
it's
the
answer to that question.
Really?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Like, I can understand where people are coming from. Scott McTominay, brilliant in Italy, fair play to him. But don't start doing that. Don't start doing, oh, United could do with McTominay. No. If you cannot answer the question with a yes, would you start him over Bruno?
Scott McTominay's 29 now.
It doesn't. Would you start him over Bruno?
No.
Conversation over. It's that simple. Does he play in the 10? No. Does he sit on the bench? No. Right. Conversation over.
And he's definitely not a defensive midfielder. We know that.
Because we tried that and it didn't work.
Exactly.
And do you know what? Fair play to Antonio Conte. I never would have guessed that Scott McTominay would be the 10 that he is, but he's phenomenal in it.
We said that. We said that on many a podcast, the three of us, that Scott McTominay has been played out of position and he's better off further up the pitch. We've said that.
He played some of his best football in United when we tried him as a makeshift forward.
Yeah.
He
He
showed it
started off as a
last
forward.
season. And he scored like 10 goals or something in the Premier League just from bursting into the box.
Yeah, but the lad was a forward through the academy ranks, and then Mourinho looked at him, and everybody's taller than Mourinho anyway, and thought, oh yeah, there's my Fellaini.
Yeah, and you know, isn't it sort of strange, right? I have wondered this here over the years, right? You know, when the way coaching comes into football and you're meant to develop attributes and stuff available, why are Manchester United so poor at developing holding midfielders?
Mystery.
You look at Scott McTominay and Kobe Mainoo as classic examples of young fellas coming through our academy, and neither one of the two of them is a very competent ball winner. They don't really understand how to break up play. They're not great at tackling. You know, it's not their defining attributes. And you look at it going, right, well, in both instances, Kobe Mainoo has flair and talent and does flicks and tricks. He's almost Samba-esque at times with close control in the movement. Brilliant. Can't tackle. Doesn't really look competent enough to read the game and intercept stuff, which is what Amram hammered him for. Turned around and said, you can't play with Bruno Fernandes because you don't know the defensive side of the game. You're essentially another 10.
He passes the A test, but he doesn't get
Then
his
you
hands
look
dirty.
Yeah, McTominay's the same. McTominay, for such a big lad, really struggled to not commit fouls and to actually cleanly win the ball back and you know, do that ball inside the midfield. And United bought Casemiro, but I can't remember the last time we produced a midfielder of substance, you know, that can do the defensive and attacking sides of the game. It's just, I don't even know if I'm asking a question there. It's just a mystery to me why we keep missing that element of developing these players. We are screaming out for an all-encompassing centre midfielder and don't seem capable of producing one. Unless one of the Fletchers has it in them.
Yeah, I think it's shown in the last 10 years of the Premier League how important that defensive midfield role is to a successful team over a 38-game season. And it's a position we've really, really struggled in. And it's one of I know there's many reasons and things you can point to why Manchester United have fell away. So over the last 13 years, whatever it's been now. But I think that midfield roles have been got so wrong for too long. And I really, really hope that Ineos and Jim, whoever, Barada, get them all at the table and it's like, right, this midfield needs overhaul, sorted. Premier League quality. If we can have the same transfer window for our that we had last summer in regards to our attack, I'll be excited.
Yeah, I think it needs it. I think it's the one thing that I have not seen them correct post Ferguson is Manchester United's midfield.
I think it's the one thing.
And you look at the players that came through. Dan Gore showed flashes of something about him, couldn't defend. Toby Collier, the most recent example, showed flashes of a big lad, some brilliant attributes going forward. Can't really read the game and win the ball back. And it's just so frustrating. I mean, it's a key component to being a central midfielder now is you have to not be about like Roy Keane throwing big tackles in, but you have to be a smart reader of the game, a Declan Rice type player where you're just in the right place at the right time more often enough to win the ball back. And other teams are producing it. I think Elliot Anderson's very good at it for Forest. I think Adam Morton is brilliant at it for Palace.
But Baliba's gone quiet, hasn't he?
Baleba is... Nobody talking about Baleba at the minute. I don't believe he had a very good AFCON. I think his AFCON was a wee bit... They're saying that he should have moved last season because it seems to have got to his head.
But there's knock-on effect. He's having a poor season.
Yeah. He isn't having a good season, and I think there's a few instances where I've looked at the Brighton lineup and he's been left out. He's been benched. I think... Wasn't he benched at the weekend? Hasn't he lost his place to Pascal Gross?
Didn't they take him off early the week before that? Remember the photos out? He was sitting on the bench, dejected.
Yeah,
I think whatever.
You know what it was? This is what I read. He was benched at the weekend for James Milner, and he came on in the 90th minute for James Milner, or in stoppage time for James Milner when Milner ran out of steam. And it's like this is the lad that was talked about and was heavily linked to a £100 million transfer.
Yeah. Over 100 million.
It works two ways. You look at it as a slip in the season and you still say him. And if so, Brighton cannot command £100 million.
No.
Or does it now rule him out of his big transfer because people will look at it and think, no, you're not the boy we thought you were?
Well, Kieran's right. All the rumours now have gone quiet on him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's talking about him.
Not a whisper.
No.
But
I mean, this is the lad who was meant to be the next Moise Caicedo. They were talking about in that breath, saying that he is a superstar.
Well, doesn't that just show you, right? If scouting a player for 1 year, do you know what I'm saying? And on that 1 year, that good season, you're paying on over 100 million for this player, which is ridiculous.
I think that's why United held tight.
Well, fair play. Because that's what they would have done in the past. Somebody has a standout season. Yeah, he's the next Brian Robson, the next Roy Keane, the next whatever. Yeah. And then he falls flat in his face. No harm to the player. He just had an outstanding season. Mm-hmm. And he just commanded a fee that was obscene.
He's still very young. I mean, when you're talking there as if, it's all gone now.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, but you're paying 100. When you look at it, he's still very young. You're paying big money for a prospect.
Yeah, you shouldn't be paying £100 million for
a
lad.
You should not.
Season Premier League. But I just wonder now what the price will be. Huh? I wonder now what the price will be. I don't think it will be
nowhere near 100 million.
Huh?
Nowhere near 100 million.
No.
50, 60.
But he's still a young.
50, I would say that 60, pushing it.
Just because I'm only thinking of like with Šeško as well. Like the ceiling's very high. Like the season he had last season, it's not like he can't replicate that again. And all players can have inconsistent bad seasons. If you're looking at playing devil's advocate with it, maybe when Manchester United were still one of the biggest clubs in the world, when that team like that comes in for you, and you want to move but you don't get your move or whatever happens, is it an attitude problem or is it just he's having an off season? But I think you're right in the way that scouting a player after one standout season is a mistake that I think United have been guilty for as well in the past. And if you look at the signings we've made in the summer, like Mbeumo, Premier League proven over a couple of years with Brentford, Cunha, Wolves, more than one season, Šeško, RB Leipzig has progressed over his time there. more than a year, not just a one-off. So I think it's credit to the recruitment now at United that we have in place. I'm hoping that, come the summer and any window after that, recruitment will be a lot better and more solid, and not just jumping at the next hot prospect or someone who's had a good run of half a season or a season. That'll fit into the formation and the United way of playing.
Yeah. Also, Amram's not here anymore, so who actually wanted Baleba?
Good point.
True.
Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not
that's why it's
the
gone.
plans for the future.
Yeah, that could be why it's gone quiet on him.
I think if you take Ruben Amram out of that equation, and I think Jason Wilcox will go with Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton. I think it'll be a very British transfer window. If it's Carrick working with Wilcox and Barada, well, mostly Wilcox because he's our director of football. Barada essentially just signs off on what those two want. And I think with if they do retain the current management structure of, I can never remember who our assistant manager is called, even though he has had such a big impact.
Steve
What do you
Holland.
call him?
Steve Holland.
Steve Holland. So I think if you've got Steve Holland, Michael Carrick and Jason Wilcox sitting around the table, Baleba would be third, fourth choice behind the two English lads who are coming from clubs that are slipping down in the pecking order. Like Crystal Palace have fluffed it this year. Oliver Glasner is going to leave. You have every opportunity to sign Adam Wharton early in the transfer window. He's bound to be pissed off.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that.
As is Elliot Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Take both. Let Elliot Anderson be the big target and try and sign Adam Wharton for 45, 50 million.
Yeah,
You're going to need options, Mum.
Yeah, there's
Can't
no reason
leave.
why we can't. If you look at the Highland, we're getting 44 million for Highland, and 26 for Rashford. There's
Yeah, and
70.
then Casemiro's wages are off the books, so
Casemiro's
that'll
wages
cover
are off.
both.
I think they need to
And
sign
more.
3 centre midfielders in the summer. It needs to be 3.
And Bayern
They cannot be counting on younger talents coming in. They need to really perform in the same manner as they did last season. They need to have 2 over and done with early doors. They need to set their stall out and go, right, we're going to sign Anderson, we're going to sign Morton or Baleba or this player or that, and they need to do it ASAP early on before the pre-season tour starts so that the midfielders can blend in and get on with each other, and they'll know who they're playing with and what their playing styles are like. So, because you've Casemiro going out the door.
Yeah.
And
And
Casemiro
wages.
started every game for Michael Carrick, every game, and he's gonna walk. Then you have Kobe Manu in there, who I have question marks over.
He goes well,
Ugarte, I don't know about.
Yeah, I think Ugarte is going.
I don't know.
as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to play in the bench case.
No. I think
So it could be 3. It needs to be 3 midfielders.
I think it is 3. I think it has to be the same as Cunha and Buemo. Like, it has to be done quickly. I think it has to be first team quality starter players signed quickly early doors for the pre-season.
I would argue after watching Everton West Ham, they need to sign 2 starters. That it can't be a partner for Kobe Manu, as people are alluding to. They need to sign 2 lads that can come in and play together in that centre midfield. And I think you could do a lot worse than signing the potential England World Cup attendees of Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton.
No, I go for Anderson, hands down.
Why not both of them? You're going to need 3.
Oh, you get both, yeah. But they're also looking at that guy from Borussia Dortmund.
No interest.
Huh?
I have no interest in him.
I'm just going to say, that guy, our head scout, Bevel, or what do you call him?
Christopher Vivell.
Yeah, Bevel. Yeah. He's pushing this forward, this guy from Borussia Dortmund.
I did read it. I just have no interest in it. You look at Benjamin Sesko this year, right? And the struggles of Benjamin Sesko. Now, we just had a conversation about United needing 2 starting central midfielders, right? Benjamin Sesko can't even be trusted to start at the minute for Manchester United in the first team. And you want to bring Christopher Vivell in from the same league in the hope that he will start in the Premier League, centre midfield, and bed in. Stupidity of the highest order.
Well, it would be stupid, Rory, because he's the coach. He's not the player.
Hey?
That's the coach that you named.
Christopher
Pavel.
Bell.
Yeah.
There you go. This is how much credit I give. I don't even know the player's name.
I know, I don't, and I actually put it up on Instagram, so I forget his name.
No interest.
Just
For
saying.
Borussia Dortmund to start in the Premier League, get lost.
He's not memorable
No
enough.
chance. I can't think of the last central midfielder that came into the Premier League and slotted in straight away. Subamendi at Arsenal, maybe. He's been brilliant. But he is Declan Rice beside him. And I think if we look at the foreign players that have come into Manchester United from different leagues over the years, and you want to trust one of them to play centre midfield, the key position in the new rebuild, no. I don't
Rodri's been good. He's from Spain.
Even Rodri took a season to bed in before he became Ballon d'Or. Rodri, he had a few gaffes and stuff in his first year where he couldn't really judge the pace.
Tonali's been good.
Sandro Tonali has been good. Yeah. So there's two.
It's very rare. I think where you're getting at is it's very rare.
Jimenez has been good.
From a foreign league.
Jimenez? Who's Jimenez?
Gimenez.
Bruno from Newcastle.
Bruno.
Mahrez took a season to settle on. That whole Newcastle team was at a loss until Eddie Howe came in and paired Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes together and made the two of them look like superstars. I think you're forgetting that Joe Linton was playing as a centre forward and Bruno Guimaraes was crying out for a midfielding partner because he was being made to look like a fool. I give you a couple of examples of where it doesn't work, right? Everybody that Manchester United have signed in the last 10 years to play midfield.
Hasn't worked.
Also, you add on top of that players from other teams, such as your Ryan Gravenbergs and stuff, that are superstars now, but it took a full year. Ryan Gravenberg looked like he should be shipped straight back to where he came from. And then after a couple of seasons, he bedded in. So I'm not saying your Borussia Dortmund prospect couldn't actually develop into a good player. There are foreign players who've come in from other leagues and done well in the Premier League. But you're talking about signing a Borussia Dortmund player to start at Manchester United next season. That's nonsense. Like to take somebody from Borussia Dortmund, integrate them in one summer and have them start in the Premier League. That's not going to happen.
I think what he wants
Well, it's not going to happen. They're going to be all British, surely.
You're a Man United fan. Man United play in England. Make your peace with it.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're going to be all British.
So what?
There is going to be foreign players that are going to come in the summer. So you're going to have to deal with that.
But not some Borussia Dortmund lad to play centre midfield.
No.
Benjamin Sesko was a mistake.
Well, okay, here's the scenario. You can only get either or. Wharton or Elliott. Who else do you go for?
Carlos Baleba.
All right.
I'd rather gamble on Carlos Baleba coming to me after his poor season with Brighton than waste money on some Borussia Dortmund player.
Would you take Onana from Villa?
110. Yeah, I'd spend double on Onana from Villa than I would spend on your Borussia Dortmund player.
So you want Premier League players?
Only the Premier League. It's the only thing that works.
Premier League proven, settled.
United are a good team.
Anything's going to be an improvement.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on ahead.
No, just saying anything in that midfield at the minute is going to be a big improvement. That we do manage to get in the door. But I understand where you're coming from, Murray, and that like Elliot Anderson's and Balebas and Adam Wharton's, instantly elevate our midfield the same way as, Mbeumo and Sesko and Sesko starting to play now, and Cunha have elevated our attack instead of Hoyland and Garnacho, etc. It's that kind of upgrade that we need, and I think it's not going to be very hard from what we unsettled, and I think it's very uneven and it doesn't suit. It's easy overrun. I think it's a key area that needs to be worked at. I think it's the most important cog in that team that needs to be the same kind of outlook on it. Premier League proven, English, Irish, Welsh, Scottish, don't care what they are. As long as they're proven in the Premier League, in my opinion, and elevate United to, challenging for the title.
I don't think Manchester United are a good football team. I think Sonny Lamond has had a couple of brilliant performances this season and a couple of very naive green mistakes this season, which you would expect from a foreign goalkeeper coming in, okay? So I think it was a great signing considering we had Andre Onana, but not a great signing in terms of having this perfect goalkeeper come in and start. I don't think the Manchester United centre-backs are good enough. I don't think the Manchester United full-backs are good enough. I said this the other night, I do not trust Diogo Dalot and I do not trust Luke Shaw to start for a Manchester United team that wants to consistently compete for top four. And that is without us being in Europe, right? The prospect of Europe is there. So Dalot and Shaw for me should drop to the bench for two new fullbacks to come in, two better fullbacks, okay? Getting a fullback at the minute, extremely hard. Look at the toils that Liverpool have had. Carrick and Frimpong look like two absolute certainties, two sure things, and they've both been shocking. Both really struggled to integrate themselves into those positions. So that's going to be tough, right? Getting a centre-back, I do think United should sign Jared Branthwaite. I was texting Lee about this the other night, and myself and Lee were in unison. I think we almost come over the top of each other. He is the one. He should be United's starting left centre-back. He's as competent playing left-back as he is playing left centre-back. He's a brilliant passer of the ball. He's a brilliant header of the ball. And he's a fantastic tackler. I think he's made to wear that United shirt. And that's three players outside of the midfield that I think United out and out need to perform next season. So this transfer window is vital because Manchester United cannot afford to buy anyone who doesn't start.
I agree.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree. But
and that's you're not talking about signing 4 players now all of a sudden. You're talking about signing 4 starters. That's mega. That transforms everything because you cannot make a mistake if you want to progress next season. And it just makes it so tough to pick people. So to look back, Mum, without going off on one, I don't want people from Borussia Dortmund, especially not lads that have no concept of playing in the Premier League. I only want to see Man United move this transfer window for 4 lads that have either played in the Premier League or play in the Premier League because they need to start next season. And I don't think your Borussia Dortmund guy is going to be able to upskill himself in a summer.
It's not my Borussia Dortmund guy. I'm just saying that he's been linked to us. I don't want him. I don't particularly know him. I've never seen him play. So he's not mine. He's not the old Jackie Maggs player. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's linked to us.
He's not.
It was just the way you were saying, right? You only have one.
No, I don't even know him. Never seen him play.
I don't think you can. United can't afford that one. It needs to be Anderson and Morton early in the transfer window.
They look at similar styles, though, Rory.
Yeah, well, you need 2.
We need 3 midfielders anyway.
I'd love it if United got the 2 of them because they're 2 quality players. They really are.
Play them beside each other.
Yeah, and I do agree.
And then sign a more energetic box-to-box player that can play in the bigger games. Baleba. Baleba loves to run about the pitch. If anything, the lad will give you 90 minutes of pure energy. And he has been poor this season for Brighton. Brighton have been poor this season. Brighton haven't looked the right team.
Now, apparently the Borussia Dortmund guy is very good at that as well. Box to box.
You're annoying me.
Red.
And you're intentionally annoying me. I can see it in your face. You don't even believe the shite you're coming out with.
I do believe half the shite I come out with. Thank you very much.
Why?
Stir the pot.
No,
the witch's brew.
Very sickly, Malone.
I don't know. Is that an opinion that's not shared? Do other people still have faith in signing these players from foreign? I just don't want it anymore.
No, like I
proven.
Yeah, no, like I agree. I
fully agree. Class. I don't care where they're from.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Like my point, Brian. Like I'll do the left back and the right back and centre back as well. But my point was as well that the midfield is the most important. If any starters are signed for the summer, the priority has to go to the midfield, in my opinion. But I do agree that I don't trust Luke Shaw or Diogo Dalot. You know, they might have fair play to Luke Shaw. He's actually stayed fit for the whole of the season. I know. And some games Dalot's looked decent. Again, don't tell him because he'll fuck up in the next game.
Some games he's looked awful.
Oh yeah, he has that.
He did that thing the other night against Everton where he went into midfield, tried to take somebody on, got lost, went to turn, gave the ball away in midfield, couldn't make it back, and Everton were on the front foot. And it's once a game now.
Yeah.
I think a confident Diego Dallo
There's
is
always a mistake in it.
There's always that blunder, you know. But I do. If we can get our two midfield targets signed early, and there's Casemiro's going, Rashford and Hoyland will get money in for them. If we get Champions League football, there's no reason why we can't get a couple of starting midfielders and probably address the wing back.
Yeah, we need another striker.
No striker. You need a centre back, 2 full backs, 3 midfielders, and a striker. There's a few strikers kicking about there that English strikers that I think might be free in the summer. What's happening with Callum Wilson?
He's at West Ham, isn't he?
Callum Wilson for a year.
He's at West Ham, is he not?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a pay to play or something.
Or is he?
He's not playing much.
Yeah, there's something. Do you remember? There was some crazy thing where they weren't. They said that.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
Potter wasn't playing him because there was some pay to play clause where you get a certain amount of money, and he's out of contract again in the summer. I mean, you could do a lot worse than Callum Wilson for the season. I'm not saying Callum Wilson is the answer to Manchester United's problems, but when you have to fix your midfield and your defence and stuff, would you take Wilson for a year?
No.
No.
Sorry, he's not good enough. No.
Is he better than Tito Obe?
I don't know about that, lad.
If he wasn't English,
There may be somebody else. I don't think Callum Wilson is the answer. I would take an older striker, but I don't think Callum Wilson is the answer.
Ivan Toney.
Sorry?
I would take Ivan Toney.
I would take Ivan Toney.
I would take Ivan Toney as a shout.
Okay. Ivan Toney for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rumours that he could leave Saudi in the summer.
I heard that actually as well. Yeah. Wouldn't be a bad shout actually. You know. So I think Cheetah will be. He's doing well where he is. He's doing well where he is, banging them in the under 21s. At the minute, I think
Ollie Watkins.
Oh, I'll take Ollie Watkins.
I would take Ollie Watkins. I think Ollie Watkins is baller.
He'll be. Well, he's 29.
And
Coming
did he play with Mbumo?
Yeah. That's why there was the big link. There was a big link with Ollie Watkins in the summer. I thought it would convince them.
Right.
Okay, so Mum, who's your signing for the summer? Who do you want?
Elliot Anderson.
Kieran?
Anderson.
I want Elliot Anderson.
Definitely
I want
Anderson.
Elliot Anderson so bad.
Yeah.
It's
I just think he's brilliant.
I think we need Elliot Anderson.
Elliot Anderson is 90 minutes of pure effort, fight, bite, grit, and he's like a quarterback. His range passing is incredible. Okay, so that is going to do us for this week. Thanks for listening to us, and please check us out on the socials. We will be back to argue at more English transfers next week.
We'll have a good argument.
Yeah. Hopefully we can link to someone else and we can educate Mum on where her football club is actually based.
Oh, Rory, that's you off the Christmas list. Right.
Feel better.
Bye.
Get the big in yet.
Bye, everyone.